Hey guys, I wanted to share my Scentsy story. It's something I haven't done, like ever. I've been meaning to make a video on this for a while because I feel like it would help you guys understand where I'm coming from, how I got where I am, where I think I want to go, and just understand me a little bit more overall. So I'm going to try to do this really quick. My kid is napping, but he's notorious for waking up when I start a video. So I want to give you guys the quickest Scentsy story there ever was. Again, my name is Christina Stainbrook. I'm currently a director for Scentsy Family. My team is the Fresh Sense of Smell Air. You're amazing. I am going to try to tell you my story as fast as I can and try not to jumble up the dates too much. When I started Scentsy, I was an accountant for a sales tax company. So I did that full time. That's what I went to school for. And I thought it was what I wanted to do until I got the job and realized I was not cut out for working a 9-to-5. They tell you your whole life that everybody needs that 9-to-5 and then your life would be amazing. Got the 9-to-5. It was a scam. I was not happy whatsoever. I had a 1-year-old baby boy at home. And at the time I ran across Scentsy, I was working around 60 to 70 hours a week. I saw my child for maybe an hour a day. Some days it was 30 minutes a day. And just enough time to give him a bath and put him to bed. I had horrible postpartum depression when I had him, and it continued for a very long time because I went right back to work, and then I didn't know this child in my house whatsoever. I knew nothing about him, but from what I heard from other people, I literally was home to put him to bed, and that's it. So I was tired of it. I knew my whole life I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and that was not going to be in the cards for me if I was going on my husband's income. And that is fine. Bless, I love him to pieces, and I don't care about how much money he makes. He could make $0, and I would have still chosen him. It was just one of those things where I realized I was going to have to get a job, so I did. And I was reminded of why I never really wanted to do that in the first place, even though it was what I was told my whole life I had to do. That women go to the workforce now, and it just wasn't my dream. Once I got down to it, I was always entrepreneurial. I was always trying to find ways to make money here and there. I was always trying to find ways to change my life if I could. I am pretty crafty. I like to sew. I do cross-stitching. I do anything involving my right brain I was pretty darn good at, and so that does not work very well for an accountant. So either way, since he came along into my life, I saw my friend had joined it, and immediately I clicked her link and joined, because why not? I was there bored. My kid had just gone to bed, and I love trying to find ways to get extra money, and the kit looked adorable. So I said, join, done, got my kit. I'm the kind of person who I don't start anything until I master it, and then I'll quit. I'm not quitting Scentsy, by the way. But yeah, so I joined, master, quit. That's just notorious for me. Learned everything there was about sewing and haven't done it in a long time. Learned everything there was about polymer clay, haven't done it in a long time. Learned everything there was about cross-stitching, haven't done it in a long time. So I'm notorious for being a serial hobbyist, and so I joined Scentsy. My husband rolled his eyes because he knew what was bound to happen. So I just barely hit my shooting star. My dad actually bought everything there was. I think I was $300 short of hitting shooting star in my first 15 days, and my dad placed a huge order, so thanks, Dad. Love you. Then Sensational Start, I hit by like $10, the Sensational Start level 1. So I did not start out with Scentsy quickly. My sponsor actually quit within my first 70 days. It was just something she just didn't feel like doing anymore. And I rolled up to her sponsor, who was very new as well. And I love her. So I just, it was one of those things I just had to teach myself everything that there was. I had nobody who could mentor me or show me the ropes. So I went straight to the training center and I watched every single training video there was. Again, mind you, I thought this was just going to be for fun. But like I said, I like to soak up all the information and be amazing at something before I quit it. So I'm just minding my own business. Had a really hard day at work and decided to post on Facebook, hey, if anybody sells Scentsy and has a supportive upline, and know somebody who's doing really well with this, could you message me? Well, I was then added to Jackie Jones. I love her more than she's ever going to know. I was added to her Facebook group for her team, and Jackie was a director, and she was staying at home with her little girl, and Scentsy was her income. And immediately, it was like I had those neon signs right there saying, if you do this, this will be you too. As far-fetched as it was, because at the time I was the breadwinner of the family, it was what I knew I wanted to do. So I kind of pick up things a little bit. I don't even remember what I started doing differently. It was just the attitude of knowing I was going to make my dreams come true with this. So February, about 5 months into my journey, my dad, he was fighting cancer this whole time. I went to his house to visit him on a Thursday night, and I went home, and an hour later I got a phone call saying that he was going to the hospital, and he was not going to be coming home again. I guess his pain had just gotten so to the point where they knew that this was it. He was on insane amounts of morphine, to the point where by the time I got there, they had him in a drug-induced coma. So I was not able to say goodbye like I'd wanted to. I mean, you can talk to people, you know, and all those kinds of things. So he was in the hospital for about a week. I was there every single day, all day long. I got the time off work, but of course I used all my vacation, which put a damper on any other vacations I may wanted to have the rest of the year and things like that. So number one, I was frustrated because I didn't like somebody telling me how I could use my life, how I could use my time. I hated working for somebody because it's not fair for someone to say you have 10 days out of 365 in which you're allowed to do whatever you want with your life. Do whatever you want with your life within these 10 days. That is bull poop. I can't believe we are taught that that's okay. So, I was done. At that moment, I knew exactly how fast I wanted to get out of my job and was willing to do whatever it took to do it. So I'm on the computer the entire time I'm in the hospital with my dad. And I ended up recruiting 4 people that week while he was in the hospital because I was done. I was done letting somebody else tell me what I was going to do with my life. I wanted to make sure that no matter what happened with my family, with my parents, with anybody else in my life, that I could be there in a second. I could help somebody all day long, every day, for weeks on end if I had to. I was done letting somebody else tell me what was going to happen with my life. So my dad did pass away that February, and I was in charge of all of his stuff 100%. So anything involving my dad was my responsibility. And all the things that you have to do for somebody who has just passed away, you got to do between 9 and 5. And guess who has a 9 and 5 job that has no free time whatsoever to do anything like that? So after a couple months of trying to do it, I couldn't juggle it anymore. Oh, sorry. And I went down part-time at my job. And I got really lucky that they let me do that. So I went down part-time. I started getting to see my son more, which only made me try even harder because I was just finally, after about him being 14 months old or so, getting to know this little person who lived in my house, and started learning how truly amazing he is. So I wanted more. So I busted tail, working part-time finally. We could not afford to go part-time when I did it. It was really one of those things where you jump off the cliff and you hope you grow your wings on the way down. It was a huge risk. We took it. Could not afford to do it. I was blessed that some things fell in line that helped me get through that part of our lives without even remembering it, not in a bad way whatsoever. So February, part-time. And then that November, I made director. So I made director, that September I made director. So in my first 10 months of Scentsy, I made director. Had a lot going on. There's more things that happened in my personal life that I'm not going to share publicly. But we had a lot of crazy things happen that year. But I decided I knew what I wanted to do and I was going to do it no matter what. Because I knew that my story was going to end awesome. And I was willing at any cost to do whatever it took. So, but while I was working full-time and part-time, I only worked my business from like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. and nap time. So 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. every day, 7 hours a day, because I wanted to push my business as far as I could. Went to work at 6 a.m., so 4 hours of sleep a night. You learn to manage, especially when you know that it's worth it. You can endure anyhow. That's anytime somebody says that to me, I'm like, it's exactly true, because that's what I did. I knew what I wanted, and I was going to get there as fast as I could. So director by September. Thanks, Jackie Jones, for mentoring me to that point. And then the following February, I actually lost my job. They decided they didn't need anybody part-time anymore. And it was really funny because it was right after we had started tithing at church. And I had too much on my plate. It was like my Scentsy business was taking off. I was busy with that. I was working part-time, which part-time, was 20 to 30 hours a week. And then there was just a billion other things going on that I just couldn't juggle. And some things started happening to where I was just kind of losing my grip. I got in a car accident with my child on the way to church one morning. And then the following day I left our iPad on top of the car, or the following week or something, and that fell off and got ran over and crushed. And then the day after that I left my cell phone on top of the car, and it was one of those moments where I just broke down, and I was like, okay, I'm going to either horribly injure somebody, because I obviously can't think straight. Something horrible is about to happen if something doesn't change, because I can't think straight. And so I was praying, and I was like, God, okay, I trust that you know where my life is headed, and you know what is best for me. You've got to take something off my plate. Something has to go. And that next day I walked into work and lost my job after a good review. I just had a good review. It was really kind of funny. So, lost my job. It's the biggest blessing of my life. We could not afford it again to not have that extra income, but I knew that God had led me to this place for a reason, and that it was going to work out. And I knew that I'd be offered jobs after that, and I'd have a lot of temptation to stop Scentsy and to continue working outside the home. And I had turned them down, even when they were offers that were too good to be true. Turned them down. And then just continued to work my Scentsy business, and it is now exactly the income we need every month, with a little bit more some months. And it continues to grow. I'm continuously surprised by what I'm capable of. I've learned so much about myself that I never knew before. And I am so much stronger than I have ever been before. I feel like I'm a better person than I ever was before. I'm a lot more positive. I have a lot more hope. I get to be a stay-at-home mom. Every single day I get to wake up with the coolest little man in the world. I adore him. Like, I find myself staring at him because I still can't believe this is my life. It's really cool because I feel like I'm extra appreciative to be a stay-at-home mom, because I know what it was like not to be able to be. And I take every day just, I don't know. I don't take it for granted whatsoever. I'm obsessed with my child. If anyone meets me, they know that. And yeah, I was like, I can't stop looking at him some days, because I just can't believe that I get to hang out with him every single day. And it was just a really cool process of learning more about him and getting to know him, and building our relationship as well. And now it's more than I could have ever imagined. So I get to be contributing to my household in a big, big way. And I get to be home with my child every single day. And I control my life. I control the time I spend on whatever I want to spend it on. I get to go on as many vacations as I want. Hawaii last year was my first incentive trip I earned with Scentsy. And it was really funny because the year after I lost my job, I thought it was funny because I got to go on like 3 or 4 trips, way more than my vacation time would have ever allowed. And I got to do all of them. I didn't have to ask anybody for permission. So I got to go to Hawaii. I got to go to boot camp in Boise. Got to go to Indianapolis, which is where I live, for Scentsy Family Reunion. But if it was a traveling trip, I would have been there. So we got to do all kinds of cool things like that. And then I got to go to Cancun in January. So it's been a blessing all around. I've been a million places. I got to go to Greece a couple months ago for free for being top 100 earner in the company. I've got annual mentor award the last 2 years, which is something if you would have asked me, I would have never earned any of those awards. It's just weird. I'm just me. I actually told Orville in Greece I felt sorry for him. Just kidding. Because I don't feel spectacular in any way. And I don't say that to be down on myself. I am just silly and crazy and goofy and an airhead, and my office is a mess at all times. And I earned a top 100 spot in the company for an incentive trip to Europe, Greece. I had never, ever in my life would have imagined I could have gone there. And then earning annual mentor award. Last year only 38 people earned it that went to reunion, and this year only 35 people earned it that went to reunion. It blows my mind that I am capable of doing things that I would have never known before. I would have never understood the abilities I have to change people's lives and to introduce them to something that is so much bigger than they'll ever realize until they take the chance themselves. I mean, we're way more than wax and warmers. And I can say deep down in my heart that I know that Scentsy is very unique. It's not like, I believe that the industry of direct sales as a whole is amazingly, is just awesome. And there are different paths you can take to make your financial dreams come true and things like that. But for me, Scentsy is so much more than financial. Yes, I get to pay all my bills and I get to stay at home with my child and make an amazing income. But it's so much more than that. I get to make friends that I cry when I think about the people that I know and that are my best friends now because of Scentsy. That I would have never known. They're people who sell Scentsy. We don't compete. We're all family. And it's just amazing that there's people who speak my love language better than anybody I've ever met in my life, which is words of affirmation. And it's just really cool to hear people tell me who I really am in a good way. Things about myself that I would have never known for myself or done for myself or anything like that. So anyway, I made my little I am sheet, but I don't feel like it is at all inclusive because I am so much more than this, and it's probably going to be backwards when I lift it up, and I apologize, but it is backwards. It says, I am always silly, I am creative, I am influential, and I am improving, and I choose Scentsy. I could choose anything, and I choose Scentsy, and I know I'm so much more than that. There were not any more lines. And I am on a mission to help as many people in my life and around my life and people I've not met yet find out who they really, really are and how capable they are of making all their dreams come true. Because the life you want is right here. It's sitting right in front of you, and you just have to take the chance. And I'm so happy I did, and I'm so happy that I had a husband who allowed me to take that chance, and I'm so happy that I prayerfully made the decision to continue with my business. And there were days I didn't want to. There were days I was overwhelmed and days I just wanted to pull my hair out with everything else going on in my life. But I knew that I did not stumble on Scentsy by chance. I'm not here on accident. And that was why I choose Scentsy, and I choose it every day, and I will choose it for whatever forever looks like. So, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity that I was given. So, thank you for watching. That was a long video, but I think it's important to share your story and where you're coming from and what you're doing. So, I love all of you, even if I don't know you. And I hope that you'll reach out to me and talk to me about your story, or the story that you wish to write. So, have a good day. And that was it.